Hello, I'm Timothy Linsdau, video producer, Christian, like politics, amateur historian. Um, Talking a little bit about this caravan yet in Tijuana and issues it's creating on our border here. I had the great opportunity to visit with some border patrolmen today, giving a presentation, telling us about the border patrol. For a lot of you, since I live so close to the border, my experience with it is pretty knowledgeable. As most people around here have a pretty good idea what's going on. In the rest of the country, you might not even know what a border patrol is. You know, they're commanded to watch the border in the U.S. I believe within 25 miles they can go anywhere, but so they're charged with that, and there's 19,000 of them that cover thousands and thousands of miles of border. So amazing stuff. But one of the things I found out today, also from one of the pastors I know that live down there and work with poor folks, said there's probably about 2,000 to 3,000 of these Hondurans down there. That was what he knew. And they're taking care of them as best they can in some type of facility down there. We got another big rainstorm coming in, so it's pretty rough if they're outside in any way. One of the things that people asked, even the mayor of Tijuana, to know why they came here. Well, the Border Patrol made the point that California and San Diego in particular are a sanctuary municipality and state, so they hear that. The immigrants hear that, they come rushing over, thinking it's going to be a piece of cake, and it's not. We have a pretty orderly and tight system for any asylum claims. Yes, we may have judges here who are a little bit more liberal or lenient, if you will, on that subject. But still, we got a process that takes time. So each person is dealt with as a family or an individual. And that brings up another point, which I could go off on, and that's about splitting up families. There's nothing new about that. That's, if a parent ends up in prison, their kids don't go to the same place. The kids end up in foster homes or some other agency. That's how that goes. But anyway, I don't want to wander off on that. There are a lot of law groups and lawyers in this area that deal with immigration and know quite a bit about it. Some would say, where do they get their money from? I have no idea. I don't want to go into that. I'm just telling you what I do know. I see advertisements for it on TV. Mexico gives asylum rather quickly to this, have offered it to this group. A lot of this group think that it's not going to be any better in Mexico, and they want to make it to the U.S. Or, worst case scenario, they just go back to Honduras. At least I guess it's worst case. I really don't know. All I know is what's in the paper. They say there's rival drug gangs, drug warfare, poverty, whatever it is. But one of the problems with that, with the customs in the U.S. is you can declare asylum, and they do give you an opportunity to see a judge. But if it doesn't have something to do with persecution from the government, it's pretty hard to get asylum. Mexico is more open on that point of when you first come into their country, but the second time you do, you'll be arrested. It's not like they don't have immigration process there also. Process might be a little quicker maybe down there, but it's a sovereign nation. You may have heard about the concertina wire that's being set up down there by the border, not the Border Patrol, National Guard. Border Patrol said something about that. They actually use it to funnel people into the border guards to capture them and keep it in order. You don't want people running on the freeways, getting injured and killed, and who knows what other kind of mess could happen. So, yes, they do use that, and that's the purpose of it. One thing is customs agents here. Customs itself has prepared their agents with riot gear in case such a thing happened. It did happen a little bit last week where people tried to charge the border, or did charge the border. So Custom wants to put on a pretty strong face with riot gear and so forth to intimidate those that would rush the border, so they don't. That's the point of that. So there you are. They're doing the best they can to keep things in order, keep people from getting hurt. There is legal immigration, so they're always working on that continuously. So that just goes on and on. There are support groups in Mexico working with these people. I don't know specific ones you can work with, but if you're inclined to try to help or offer something, it's better to go through some kind of group like that. Maybe a church group too, I don't know, but you'll have to look that up. That organization, the Pueblo Sin Fronteras, that's the one in Mexico. They say that they're not part of the leadership. They don't wish to lead. All they do is wish to get those immigrants to come together and have some kind of consensus about what they're going to do. Whether they have any chance of doing anything, I don't know. Also heard today they're starting to try to spread them out across the Mexican border into different cities to take the pressure off of here so they get processed sooner if they have a chance to be processed over to the U.S. side. I've heard some are going back to Honduras. That may have something to do with what I heard today. That this is from that pastor. He said a lot of those people came on buses and airplanes into Tijuana. Now, one might ask the question, if they did that and they're in such straits, where did they get the money to do that? That opens up to conjecture and conspiracies to who did what, which we've probably all heard something. But apparently that's how a lot of them got here. So, and it seemed rather quick when you think about when they came across the border and when they arrived here several thousand miles later with kids in tow and all of that. It's something going on there. I don't know what. One of the tragedies, Border Patrol were pursuing a pickup load. A driver apparently had a pickup load of people. It's just happened many times before. Tries to run away from the Border Patrol. Wrecks. Kills some of the poor immigrants. It's a real shame, that kind of thing. People driving the pickup are usually what they call coyotes, and they're making money off of that deal. People do that in many different ways. One of the things the Border Patrol find quite a bit are tunnels that are dug from the Mexican to the American side, quite a bit. But this disturbance creates a lot of problems because we have a lot of economic interests on this side and that side. There's a lot of product manufacturing that goes on here right on the border, shipped to Mexico, assembled and shipped back. So there's a lot of business activity that takes place between the two countries that's beneficial to both. And just to give you an idea, and that gets stopped, I've heard numbers of $500 billion going back and forth across there in a year. So it's affecting a lot of people. And people in Tijuana are making a living off of that, and it gets stopped. That's rough for everybody. It's rough for retail businesses. It causes some real problems. So what the politics are behind that, who's affecting and doing what, it's causing a lot of pain and trouble. I don't know if that can be solved. I hope so. Helped us. Whoever convinced them to do that was not a smart, wise thing to do unless somebody's trying to get power and money. I don't know. But anyway, that's what's going on. Hopefully it's settling down, and it'll eventually they'll either get processed somehow, go back home, or stay in Mexico, whatever it is. But I hope they get it settled. So there you go, a little bit more of what's going on the border. I'm Timothy Linsdau, and like and comment on my video, subscribe to my channel, and you hear more about this and some adventures I take. So have a great day. Thank you.